We are going to be doing a December reset. I do have some orders to pack, which is so exciting. The new name card, business card situations for the orders. I really enjoy doing such mindless tasks. I decided to put my black and white ones in this case, and then I popped all the different coloured ones in the little cases. Help me get organised. This might be quite handy for when I eventually get my sewing island desk situation sorted. I'm going to finish up the vlog. That is going to need a thumbnail making as well before I can post it early access for my family members. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan and I am the owner of a small business called Fauna. I'm mostly making sale scrunchies and macrame, but I do a range of fun goodies and I film all the behind the scenes of my small business and I pop it on YouTube for you all to see. And this is actually part 2 to last week's studio vlog, which is kind of like a mammoth studio vlog, and it was getting very long, so I decided to cut it into 2. So if you haven't caught part 1, I'd recommend going and watching that, but you don't have to. You can still watch part 2. It should somewhat make sense, but I wanted to introduce this vlog anyway just in case. I was basically in the process of doing a December reset, kind of. I was trying to get organised while trying to chill out, while trying to deal with the fact that my brain just doesn't know how to rest, and I was still trying to catch up with everything that I needed to do, because running a small business is not easy. There is a lot of things that you have to do, especially when you are just a one-person brand doing it all. So before this intro gets too long, I am going to let the rest of the vlog carry on, and if it is okay with you guys, I'm going to be popping up throughout the vlog answering some of your questions. I have been accumulating a bunch of your questions over time, so if you want me to do an actual sit down dedicated Q&A video, please let me know, or if you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments. But I have picked out a few, so I will be popping in throughout the vlog to answer some of those questions. But apart from that, grab yourself a hot drink and snack, because it is another very long vlog and I hope that you enjoy it. So, question 1. What is your fave thing about running Fauna Rose? I may or may not have answered some of these questions before, so if I have, I'm so sorry, but my favourite thing about running Fauna Rose is the creativity and the freedom of it. I'm built for being more of a free spirit and just being able to create stuff, work at my own pace, set my own deadlines and make stuff, because I find that really fun. I find it really inspiring. It's just sort of what suits me best. I love how if I want to sit for an entire weekend and just make things just for the fun of it, I can, but I also love how I can then decide, no, I need a break, and I can go and do other things. And I also love how flexible being your own boss can be. It's just so much more convenient, especially for my lifestyle. So those two things are definitely my favorite thing about being a small business owner and running my small business. Ugh. Hello guys, I'm so sorry, I've barely filmed anything or spoken to you guys at all today. It's literally like a minute before I need to go to work, but all I've done is computer work for most of the day, so podcast editing, video editing, nothing super exciting to record. And I have been attempting to get on top of the office because it's just chaos and I really want to make something, I really want to be creative, and I can't do that. Well, I can, but I'm not really allowing myself to make anything until the space is tidy and organised, and I need the office to be tidy so I can then attempt to finish it and do the rest of the studio makeover and stuff. So that's kind of all I've done today, but I am actually going to have to go to work now. So I might film some more stuff tonight, I'm not really sure. I might just end up doing more computer work, but hopefully you guys don't mind this video being spread over quite a long period of time, because it's mostly just me organising and getting on top of stuff. So I'm sorry it's not all just done in one day, because that's not realistic for me and I don't like being unrealistic with you all. So I'll catch you guys at some point soon. last question is really kind, and I've seen a few people ask me this. It says, will you get a PO box for us to send you stuff? Honestly, probably not. I know that sounds really ungrateful. It's nothing to do with that in the slightest, but PO boxes are actually really expensive and I unfortunately don't have the spare finances to pay that each month. I also wouldn't want you guys to have to go out of your way to send me stuff. I feel bad enough as it is when people buy things from my wish list. Crystal and Izzy, I'm looking at you right now because you guys have treated me to stuff recently. You silly gooses, but thank you so much. I feel bad enough as it is when people do things like that or donate to my Buy Me a Coffee page. I don't feel like I deserve anything like that, so I would probably feel even worse if people were then sending me stuff through my PO box, but fortunately no, it's not something I can currently afford. If you live somewhere like London, you can get PO box situations and stuff for a really good price, but I live in the middle of nowhere. It's not really super easy for me to get one, and the only options I kind of have are a little bit out of my price range right now, so unfortunately not. But that's very kind of you to say that you want to send me stuff, but I don't want anyone to ever feel like they have to do that. Watching these videos is more than enough support, so not currently yet, if that answers that question. Hey guys, so I have been kind of spiraling a little bit today. I think I'm just massively overwhelmed by the sheer chaos and mess and just unorganisation that's been going on in my life, and I've been trying to just do what I can in a nutshell, and it has taken a very long time because of how bad it is. There's just piles and boxes and bags and cupboards and everything just full of stuff where I haven't had 5 minutes over, well, the past few years I guess, to actually sit down and go through stuff, which really isn't good. So it has been taking me a very long time. I've not filmed that much, but I tried to get a few clips here and there of me attempting to just sort some stuff. So I do really need to get the office makeover finished, and unfortunately I do need quite a bit of time for that, and even though I'm trying to wind down in December, I don't currently have time still. And when we took everything out to do the last bit of the office makeover, which was starting the scrunchy wall and the carpet and the flooring situation, we did take everything out, and it has just been all over the house, and the rest of the house is chaos, and it's just not fair. So I have started bringing stuff in, which I didn't want to do, because if I do the next bit of the studio makeover, it's going to be easier to get everything out again. Not everything, but like none of this is going to be staying, things like that. But it's to the point where we can't move in any other area of the house. We're tripping on absolutely everything. We cannot get to anything, we can't find anything, and it's not fair. It's not fair on Alex, it's also not fair on me because I live here too. So I have gradually been going through stuff, tidying stuff. Like, hopefully you would have seen, I literally rolled out of bed, did some computer work, and then straight away in my pajamas I've just been smashing out a bunch of tidying. So you may have seen, but I started emptying a bunch of my market boxes because of the chaos that the last few months have been. These were just as chaotic. There was just so much shit in these guys, and that was making it really hard when it came to actual market days and stuff, trying to find things in the boxes. And because I didn't have the time to sit down and go through them, they've just ended up accumulating crap basically. So I've been through all of them, I've took everything out, put some stuff away, made a little pile down here that's quite messy and chaotic of things for markets or other things that I need to go through, but at least they're empty. And then you may have seen I did put my acrylic drawers on here for now, because that was another thing that was just taking up room in another room. So I have been organising a bunch of of that. Eventually all of that will probably be going on this wall here, but I don't want to overload this wall when I know full well this is going to be DIY'd and built on and stuff. So yeah, I'm a bit like scatterbrained, but it's creeping towards 1:30 already. I'm going to be going to work soon, and I'm in another mood where I just want to make something, and I kind of can't, because if the space isn't currently suitable for that, there is no point in me trying to quickly make something in an unsuitable space, which is going to make more mess, which is then going to make my life technically even harder. So as much as I have been determined to make a difference today, I'm also really now struggling to stay motivated and to keep doing it. But we're slowly getting there, and I keep going into the other rooms and seeing the small differences it's making in those rooms, just to make myself feel a little bit better. I was missing this one drawer. I don't know if you would have seen when I was filming that then, and I do tend to keep my hard drives and stuff in one of them, but just found it. Pretty sure it's in this other box of random garbage that's just been in another room. This is literally what the whole house is like, and it's just unbearable. Yep, there it is. I wondered where these were as well. There's some wristlets that I started, which, do you know what? I might finish them today. That might be my creative project, because they're already pre-cut, they're already on the hardware. All I need to do is hook them to my grid wall. Speaking of which, I'm putting a pin in that because I need to talk to you about that. So that shouldn't create mess. I shouldn't need a crazy amount of space. So that's that. But this has just got random gubbins in it. So we've got a few business cards. We've got my care kit from Evermore Jewellery, which is my permanent bracelet. Macrame scraps, a pair of scissors, elastic bands. So it's just gubbins like that that's accumulated over time. I've just found a bunch of random sewing machine accessories which need to go away in my little gubbins drawer, which goes on that pegboard, which I am going to tackle soon. But I am at that point where I'm getting stressed and overwhelmed, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't know if you can tell, my voice is really sore, and I'm starting to feel a little bit not great, and I don't want to end up getting run down and poorly and stuff again. So that is another reason as to why I haven't overly spoken to you guys today, because I need my voice for the 12 days of Podmas that I am currently doing for my family members. But there's just so much rubbish. Nowhere has a proper space, and again, I know it's awkward because I've been really busy and we're in the process of the studio makeover and stuff. It is quite hard to navigate currently, and again, I'm having that mindset where I'm like, cut yourself some slack. You have a lot on, life is very busy, you're just doing your best and what you can. And then the other side of my brain going, you're literally not working hard enough, you need to be doing so much better. But there we go, hard drives back where they belong. This is my podcast mic wire. I'm going to pop it in there as well just because it fits perfectly. But I can then go back. So what I think I'm going to do, if it's okay with you guys, because I know a lot of this vlog is just me tidying, I am just going to pop on my headphones and I'm going to tackle the mess that is currently over there, because my pegboard has been empty for a while because I've been taking them off the walls to go to markets and stuff, which is quite handy that you can take them off because they do fit perfectly in some of my market setups. But it's also then really annoying taking them off the wall and having to take everything off them. So I could do with a spare one for markets, but I do have a market in a few days time. It's my last one of the year, and there is a possibility I might need to take one of these off again, which is kind of annoying, but it's fine. I would rather just get tidy and get organised. Don't know if you heard that, it's just me kicking one of the pots that's from up there, even if it is only for a few days. Headphones on, rest my voice. I might have to get a cup of tea actually because my throat's burning. Tackle this side of chaos and we'll go from there. I'm so sorry that this vlog's probably rubbish, guys, but I know you like to see the things I'm up to and the behind the scenes and stuff, but apologies if this is really boring. It's just loads of clips of me being stressed and attempting to tidy and failing epically, but I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna get on with it. Right, I've got myself a cup of tea, headphones at the ready. And this is the wall that I'm going to be tackling, and I don't think I actually showed you what I was doing the other day. I wrapped a bunch of my ribbon collection in lollipop sticks, so they're all now much better organised and in a jar, which I might just pop there for now. But when I was doing that, I then got really annoyed at myself because I still had so much to do in that day, and I was like, why have I just wasted time doing something for fun when I should have been working and doing other things? And Alex was like, you are allowed to chill out, you were still working, you're allowed to relax, you're allowed to do stuff for fun. I'm not saying I don't find my business fun or anything, but I then got really annoyed at myself. I was like, I shouldn't have been relaxing, I shouldn't have been doing something just because I could. Oh, honestly, I've got issues, haven't I? I think these are all going to stay there. This is going to come off, that's going to come off, just because that's been put there just to keep it out of the way for now. I'm not sure where I want to store these ribbons. My plan was to potentially, with this dowel that they're on, just make like a mini stand. That's probably what I'm going to do with them, but they do fit perfectly on these shelves, so I might keep them on there. I'm not really sure as of yet, but let's crack on and get at least this bit sorted. next question. I get asked this sort of question all the time about whether or not I would give up my job to focus full-time on Fauna Rose, and I would absolutely love to. Trust me, I would. Maybe one day that would be completely doable. However, even if Fauna Rose becomes substantial enough where I can live off that, it can pay my bills and things like that, due to my life and Alex's job and things like that, we move quite a lot. Long story short, Alex is military, so that requires us moving here, there and everywhere. And our most recent move brought us to Lincolnshire in the UK, and this is the first home that we have ever bought. We were desperate to get on the property ladder. It has been very difficult. Times are so hard. Finances don't go anywhere these days because everything is just so expensive. So because we own a home, mortgages are involved, loans are involved and things like that. So when we need to move again, it is so much easier to be accepted for things like mortgages or loans or annoying other adult things if you are employed. There are unfortunately a lot of downsides to being self-employed. It's incredible. There are so many great things about it, but there are also so many downsides to it. And when it came to Alex and I buying this home, even though I wasn't running Fauna Rose at the time, I had YouTube income from an old YouTube channel and I also had another small business. But our advisor straight away was like, it's not even worth adding it. Trust me, it's not worth the stress. A lot of mortgage companies will only take employed income. It is very, very difficult to be considered for things like loans and mortgages if you are self-employed. It is doable, obviously, don't let me put you off by saying that, but it is very, very difficult. So being employed is something that I will probably need for that. And at the same time, self-employment is not a reliable source of income. You never know what's going to go on with the economy. You never know what's going to go on in the world. And if you're making stuff like what I make, it's not stuff people need. So during times like now where the economy is absolutely awful and people are struggling to just pay their bills, not as many people are buying things like what I make and sell. So it's not reliable. You do not have a steady source and reliable source of income. So it can be really, really scary. So having my little side job, even though I would rather be spending every minute of my day on Fauna Rose, it's just a security blanket. It's a sense of knowing that if anything goes wrong, at least I've still got that money coming in from my job. So yes, I would absolutely love to be doing Fauna Rose full-time, 100%. Just unfortunately in the times that we are currently in and the fact that it is a small business and it's not reliable and the world works off reliable income, it's not going to be something that's going to happen for a short while, unfortunately. But yes, I would absolutely love to. I think about it all the time, trust me, I do. Even though my job situation is not bad, which is going to lead me on to my next question. I've had quite a few people ask me what I actually do for my job. I'm a cleaner. I have done so many jobs in my life and I've, funnily enough, got quite a lot of qualifications under my belt, but I'm a cleaner. And if I'm being completely honest, it's been one of the best jobs I have ever had. And some of you might be thinking, really? But for me personally, it works perfectly for me because my brain just doesn't cope with normal jobs and scary managers and things like that. I get overstimulated, I get stressed, I take everything so personally. So the fact that I can go to work, have a little chat with some of the people in the facility that I clean, so I'm getting out the house, I'm being somewhat sociable, just a bit small talk. How are you? Yeah, I'm good, how are you? I can just clean, not think about anything, and I can come home, doesn't follow me home. I'm not worrying about anything. I've got no crazy responsibility like that. So it is actually perfect for how my brain works. And it is only for a few hours a day, so I have the rest of the day to actually focus on Fauna Rose and stuff, so it's pretty decent. I've got my weekends as well, so I cannot complain. If I'm looking a little bit red, it's because it's freezing outside and I've just popped out to speak to my neighbours. But what I think I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull this one out a second because it's not that heavy, because there's not much stuff on it. Because the wooden drawers behind me, they're currently taking up quite a lot of empty space, which is fine because it's a temporary solution. So what I think I'm going to do is for now just pop in all the stuff that I know is definitely for market stuff. It's not going to be much, maybe like a box full. I don't even know if the boxes fit. Yeah, they should do. Because even though I know I've got a market this weekend and I am going to obviously need some of it, I'm not going to need it till Sunday. So it's only really going to be stuff that I definitely know is for the market. So for example, this holds my motel keychains, so that can go under there. The new baskets that I bought that are only going to be used for markets, paper bags and stuff. I think that's what I'm going to do, just so it's out the way and I've got a little bit more room to work with in the office. I don't think I'm going to have time really to make anything, but that's okay. This is a priority. I'm going to shut up and get on with it. Yeah, and hopefully that'll clear up a bit more space, and it'll hopefully give me a clearer mind as well. So the next question is why we chose to get carpet in my office instead of hard floor. When we did the studio makeover, we popped in some nice underlay and we got some nice thick carpet. It's because in the future we're going to be selling the house or potentially keeping it and then letting it out. And it is actually a bedroom, so a carpet is a lot more appealing for when it comes to reselling or letting a property because it's cozier, it's comfier, it's warmer. So that was one of the reasons. The second reason, like I just mentioned, it's warmer. I've got to keep me and the cats warm. It's a lot colder for the cats to be running around on hardwood floor. And the final thing is we would have had to have ripped up all the under base floorboards because over time floorboards warp, they get ripped up if you've got to look at anything underneath, so it wasn't the smoothest and flattest surface. So if we wanted to do hardwood floor, we would have had to have replaced the entire underflooring, which is quite a big expensive job to then have nice flooring re-leveled because you can't put hardwood floor on wonky old warped floorboards. So you need a nice flat flush surface, and then you need the right sort of underlay to go on top of that, and then on top of that would then be a hardwood floor, so it was a lot bigger of a job as well. So they're the reasons as to why we chose to go for carpet. So guys, I'm so sorry this has been really boring and I've barely spoken to you, but the office is looking so much better. It's still a major work in progress. Most of this that's in here isn't staying where it is currently, but I can actually see the floor. I can actually move around. So I will show you that in a minute, but I've just been editing. I've done another podcast episode. I've got a lot of laptop work to still do, but I am also about to sit down and film a sit down video. So there's probably not going to be much to show you again today, but I'm going to very quickly show you the office. So like I said, still a work in progress, but the fact I can see the floor, it's just made me so happy. I don't have a wide angle lens, so I'm sorry if you can't really see much, but you can actually see the floor. So this side, absolute disaster, major work in progress, but most of the scrunchy stock has been taken off and put in some boxes because I need them off to be able to finish this situation. So none of this will be staying there, but all my market boxes are empty and organised. There's just an extension lead in there. That blooming little bag literally is in like nearly every shot of my studio vlogs. It's just great for having scrunchies that aren't finished yet, but this stuff is other market stuff and bits and bobs I do still need to go through. Obviously this is my little adjustable floaty desk that kind of goes everywhere and anywhere. It's really handy. This is what is hopefully going to be turned into the island that's going to be around the office, but for now it's just there. That's a bunch of scrunchy strips I need to start sewing up soon. This grid thing is a major work in progress as well. I actually have 2 or 3 more of these, and I did dig out a bunch of the accessories that I have. They were in storage, so I went and braved the storm the other day and I dug them out, and they still need a clean and stuff, but inside that box of bits and bobs there was this like tea thing, so it's a little bit wonky because it's all secondhand stuff, but I've just popped some headbands on it for now. That bit did get cleaned obviously, but I'm not really sure what to store here because I did have my lanyards and my wristlets on it, but they're now elsewhere. But these 3 bracelets I did manage to get done. They're not 100% finished, but I just needed to make something to just feed my creativity part of my brain, so at least those 3 are done. So then we've got this side, again still a work in progress, but this is mostly going to stay here. So pegboard's going to stay there, sign's going to stay there, macrame is probably going to stay up there, but I've popped all the wristlets up there as well as the macrame ones, and I think I might keep them there because I do like how it looks. And for now I've just popped all my acrylic storage on there because these are probably going to go in this disastrous zone eventually. But I don't know where to store my lanyards because they used to hang up on the grid thing over there, but because I've now packaged them in belly bands, I don't really know how to store them. So I considered for now just putting like a little tray or something across there and just having them lay across there, which doesn't look great, but yeah, I'm not really sure how to store them anymore. I do need to improve the belly bands and work on them, but that's that. And then we've got this absolute disaster side unit situation thing. So this is mostly temporary, but these and the pegboard are probably going to stay. I am considering putting that pegboard there because it lines up perfectly then with the width of this, but I don't want to be drilling too many holes on this part of the wall because we had to do repairs on that part of the wall and I don't want to then add more holes to it. I'm not really sure. We're not super decided on that yet, but my rough idea was to have a bit of an L shape going on, but I want to utilize the wall space here, so I don't know if it's worth me trying to build some units or what. I don't know. This is just my old IKEA tabletop from my old desk, and I've just had it there so I can use the surface, and I like it being an extra surface. It's come in handy, but the downside is the units under here, because they're metal drawers and obviously they're not see-through, to be able to see what's in that top one I have to really like get under and pull it all the way out, and they don't come that far out. They look like they need a clean actually. I was considering still having like this little lip because then I can put my feet under it if I do use it as a desk, but annoyingly enough I can't then see under there. So I'm considering, because this is probably going to be a DIY situation, considering making a unit or like desk where it comes up and across and then having this on top of that. I don't think that's going to make any sense. So it's like lifted and there's like an extra gap in the middle, and then that way I can still use it as a desk, but there is also a bit more of a gap for me to see inside the top drawers. Don't know if that's making any sense. And then having this kind of go round in maybe an L shape and then have some vertical storage up here. Not sure yet, but still a major work in progress. But the fact I can see the floor, I'm very happy about it. So we've still got a long way to go until the studio's finished, but when it's tidy I can actually envision that it's going to be a usable space. So the calyx units that are over there, the big square ones, that's going to have a bunch of fabric stored in it. So with the cardboard boards, you know, like the backing boards that they're usually wrapped on, I'm going to do it like that. That's what most people do, and it's because it makes sense. You can actually see the fabric, it's kept nice and neat, doesn't get ruined, and a lot of those units do currently have a lot of crap in them, so I'm going to go through, clear and clean out everything. The floating calyx unit that's going to be hopefully part of the island situation. That's got a bunch of my tax stuff and paperwork stuff in. That all can come out and probably go in the filing cabinets. There's a lot of switching about and moving about and organisation that still needs doing, which I'm really excited about when I get some time to do it. But there's fabric in the boxes down here. Once that's all stored nicely on those backing boards, that can all go in there. But just feels so much better to have a cleaner, tidier space. I just need to keep it this way now. So I've got a lot to do. I've got some orders to package, which I might show you me packaging them, but I'm not going to show you close me packaging them, or like the information and details and the names and stuff, because I am aware that some of them are Christmas presents, and with it being near Christmas, it's always a risk that I could potentially ruin someone's Christmas present, because you never know who's watching. So if you do place an order at any point, we're currently in December, so if you've placed an order in November, well, any time really, but end of November or at any point in December, thank you so much. If I don't show your name cards or your actual order, I'll thank you by your name. I am so sorry if you wanted to see that. It's just not a risk I want to take. I've got to still get those done, and I was considering ending the vlog here, but I know you guys like longer videos. They do take a lot of time to edit and stuff. It's a lot, but I want to give back to you guys and make you happy, so I am considering just carrying on filming over the next few days, which you'll probably might find boring, I don't really know, especially because it's just going to be a lot of interrupted clips here and there, because a lot of the things I'm doing at the minute is just laptop work, editing, boring stuff. So I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea because my voice is going, maybe finish editing that podcast just so I can get it scheduled and stuff and uploaded, rest my voice for a few minutes while I do that, and then record sit down video. It's going to be about the barcode scanner, which is there, and my whole process with that, my opinions and stuff and whatnot. So I can feel my right eye going funny. I really hope I'm not getting a migraine. Not got time for that. Hopefully we can squeeze all that into today. We'll see. But I really hope you guys enjoy some of these more boring vlogs, because sometimes it's nice to just watch people do really mundane, boring stuff, I guess. But if you don't, please let me know, and I won't include boring stuff like this in the future. What is flying around out there? There are some big ass planes outside. Damn, I'm gonna get a cup of tea. So the next question is, I would like to know if you use licensed fabric on your store or if you only used unlicensed fabrics. So do I use licensed or copyright fabric? No, for a plethora of reasons. The main one being it's illegal. Here in the UK anyway, you cannot use copywritten or licensed fabric to sell in terms of turning over a profit. If you're interested in starting a small business, I would highly recommend doing as much research as you can. It's quite difficult because there isn't a great deal of information out there, but do what you can to look at the legalities in terms of what you are hoping to do in terms of your business. There are so many people that start small businesses, start making things to sell them, which is really incredible. But most of the time the things that they're doing aren't legal, and there are unfortunately a lot of people that don't know different rules and regulations as to what they can sell and what they can make and sell. But in terms of fabric, again, I can't talk about other countries, but in the UK you cannot use copywritten material or licensed fabrics or anything like that in your small business. I know a lot of you might be thinking, well, I do it or loads of other people do it, and that's fine. That's a choice that you are choosing to do. It is not something that I will ever do. It's not something I am interested in. I do not want to use licensed characters. I am not interested in using Marvel, DC, Disney, anything like that on my products. When I am shopping for fabrics, I will always check the fine print. I will always look into the fabric and look for licensing and things like that. If the fabric is copywritten or licensed or whatever, it will state that on the listing of the fabric, and it will state that it is for personal use only. And you might think, well, yeah, if you can't use the fabric, why do they sell it? Copywritten or licensed fabric is sold for the sole purpose of being used for personal projects, as in you make it for yourself or you make it for a loved one. You don't sell it, you don't make any money, there is no trading of money or anything involved when it comes to that. You're not turning over a profit, nothing like that, because you don't own the rights to Harry Potter, you don't own the rights to Disney characters. You are not supposed to do it, and a lot of people do. So that again is a huge risk that people are obviously willing to take. I see it all the time at events, and if anyone from Trading Standards or anyone comes in and can report you or whatever, you will get in trouble, and so will the organizer of that event. And that whole thing isn't really my vibe whatsoever. But just to note, the closest I will ever get to copyright or licensed fabric is sometimes the prints that I use or the fabric I used is copywritten in terms of the artwork, which basically means, for example, say there's a beautiful floral print, the design itself is copywritten, as in you cannot take that design and turn it into something else, turn it into a digital file, turn it into art prints, turn it into other things like that. But you are allowed to use that fabric to create your own pieces for profit and things like that. I hope that makes sense. So just be aware of the laws and different things in your areas. Long answer to a very simple question of do I use licensed fabric? No, I do not. Edited and it's been scheduled for whenever it needs to go live, and I've packaged those orders, so guys, thank you so much. I'm attempting to get some shipping labels and it's not going very well because my website seems to be down. I don't know why. I think they've just been trying to change things up and it keeps changing. So not necessarily my website like Fauna. The platform I currently use GoDaddy, and I think they're working on some things clearly, but I can't actually access my orders which isn't great. I can click and view other things, but as soon as I try and view my orders it brings up an error code. So yeah, system error. It says you need to contact the site owner, which I don't have time to do, and trying to contact that customer service team isn't the easiest. So annoyingly enough, this is lazy, I know, but it also just stops errors from happening, like human error. Is I'm gonna manually have to get the emails up on my phone and fill out all the details that way, because usually I'll just copy and paste it all over, so then it's exactly as the customer has typed in and stuff. So I will just make sure to double, triple everything, check that everything is right on there, because I don't know what's going on with that. So that's really fun. But I have just had to have some painkillers because pain behind this eye is getting worse. It does not feel nice, which is weird because whenever I get headaches or migraines it's always behind this eye, so it does not feel pleasant. So let's hope those painkillers kick in soon, especially if I need to sit down and do a really chatty long video. But that's all I'm going to be doing, is sorting out the shipping labels, hopefully, probably sitting down and recording that video if I feel up for it, if my eye doesn't get worse or this headache, migraine, whatever doesn't get worse, and then chances are it'll be time for me to go to work. Thank you guys so much. So I'm down to the last few questions. I'm going to do a quick fire question round where I'm going to quickly answer the last few questions, just because I feel like this vlog's been quite all over the place, really random, and I've definitely chatted your ears off, so I'm so sorry about that, guys. But hopefully you've enjoyed it still. If you do have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and I will do my best to answer them either in a future video or a specific vlog. But let's answer the last few questions. So this one says, what's a wristlet for? How can I use it? I do get asked this all the time, and it's one of my most asked questions when I'm at events and markets and stuff, is what are my wristlets? Long story short, you put them on your keys and you can put the strap around your wrist. It's very hard to explain it without sounding patronizing, but it's basically just a glorified keychain. So if you're running about but you still want to have your keys to hand, but you also need to use your hands to hold stuff, you can pop your keys around your wrists and you've then freed up your hands. So it is basically just a keychain. So that's the first one. The second one is, why do you use an air purifier and a mask? It is to protect my lungs and to protect my kitty's lungs. So the supervisors are very sensitive to smells. I don't want them inhaling certain things. I've got to protect their lungs. I've got to protect my lungs. My health isn't the best. And inhaling things like fabric fuzzies and different fibers and particles and stuff really isn't good for you. So every once in a while, if I'm doing a lot of sewing using specific fabrics or whatnot, I will sew with a mask on and an air purifier. Just helps keep the space cleaner and less crap going in my lungs, basically. And then next, I always get asked if I'm Fauna, if that's my name, or where did the name Fauna Rose come from. So it's not my name. My name's Megan. However, I am named after a rose plant. It's the Megan Rose. And when it came to choosing a name for this small business, I really wanted something that was earthy and natural and consisted of both plants and nature of that sort, as well as animals, because they are two of my favourite things. I am a bit of a mother nature loving freak. And obviously you've got the cliche flora and fauna, so it basically categorizes each of those. And that was the vibe I wanted to go for. And I love the word fauna. I think it's beautiful, but I didn't obviously want to go with fauna and flora because it's just a universal known thing. So I went with fauna for the animal side of things, and then rose because it links back to both my name and it covers the plant side of things. So hopefully that helps. It's really random, I know, but I really liked the ring to it and how it somewhat fits to me, but also fits in with the natural vibe that I really wanted for this small business. And that's kind of where it went from, but most people assume it's my name. It's not. So hopefully that answers that question. And then the final one is, how do I look for markets and craft fairs? I struggled with this at first, but over time I don't as much anymore. My main go-tos are Facebook, Google, and networking. So I kind of, in my area, know the events I now want to do, and I tend to just keep an eye on their social medias and Facebook pages and stuff, but without sounding, again, really patronizing, just Google it. Sometimes you will find stuff on Google. There are certain websites sometimes for your area. It's very area specific. Not all areas do events and stuff, so it is sometimes worth like branching out a little bit, but type in on Facebook things like your area. So for example, I live in Lincolnshire currently in the UK, so I typed in Lincolnshire craft fairs, Lincolnshire events, Lincolnshire markets, and that's kind of where I then went for. I joined as many groups as possible. You don't have to stay in those groups. If they're not right for you, you can just leave them. But I joined as many groups as possible where people post events they're hosting and stuff on there. I'd always have a look on Instagram. I would then subscribe to the events emails so I could stay updated as to when the next events were going to be. Networking is always a major one as well. So if you do attend any events, speak to people. Even if you see a craft fair or an event that's happening in your area, you can always go along as a customer and speak to the stall holders there and ask, oh, how did you hear about this? How did you get involved with this? Networking is such an important thing. Speak to your other stall holders around you because you don't know what knowledge they're going to hold. Word of mouth, having a nosy online, look on social media, they are out there. It does just take a little bit of time researching these things first, and then it's kind of like a snowball effect. It kind of goes from there, if that makes sense. Hopefully that's somewhat useful, but I don't know for the rest of the world. This is just what I found worked for me in my area. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the vlog. Again, if you got any more questions, please leave them in the comments. Hello guys, let me just pop that out of the way. So, oh, bear with. I've had the air purifier on. I have been filming some clips here and there, so if you can hear that in the background of some of the clips I've filmed, I'm really sorry. But most of today, again, has been laptop work. I'm just doing my best to get on top of content. It does take me a very long time, and I've still got a lot of content to catch up with. I've got a bonus video going up tomorrow. I still need to edit the bonus video for my family members as well. Constantly recording and editing podcasts. I did just make this kind of very quick collage and posted it on the Facebook page. I might post something on Instagram stories as well, but just letting people know about the market on Sunday. It is a local one, and I have mentioned about the baubles in hopes that some people will be interested in those, as well as if anyone wants to place an order for a custom made headband beforehand, so then I can have it made up and they can collect it at the event. So I've shared some of that. I've had a little nosy on Pinterest because I'm starting to plan out my market setup for Sunday. I'm probably going to leave this video here soon because I've got to prep for that, so I'm probably just going to start the next vlog straight after this. But I've also, as you would have just seen, pre-cut out a bunch of macrame stuff so I can crack on with those. But we've just had a couple parcels arrive. The first one hopefully will be my labels, and second is from a small business. So there they are. That's going to take me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to cut them all up and fold and burn them into shape. But I'm glad that those have arrived. I think there's 500 there, so I do still have a few left, but I go through them so quickly, so it's always best to reorder them. And with Christmas coming up, I thought, I'm going to get some in just in case. And then the second one I am very excited about. This is potentially not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I absolutely love this small business. But this is from a small business called the Blackened Teeth, and I have bought from them in the past. I only bought something very small the last time, and this is something only very small as well. But we are still in a cost of living crisis, and like most people, we don't have the funds to just be buying random stuff right now. But when I saw they had a Black Friday sale on, I thought this is perfect because I get to support these guys and I get to treat Alex and I to something for the house. But I already own one of their jawbone car holders, which I know is very different from the Fauna Rose vibe, but the style that I love in general and for the home is really dark, moody, witchy, cottagecore vibes with gothic elements in there. I love it so much. I love gothic architecture, all that sort of stuff. Again, very juxtaposed to Fauna Rose. And I am desperate for Alex and I to have multiple gallery walls all around the home that are all dark and moody. And I have so many incredible pieces of decor and stuff that I've been collecting over the years, and we've just never had the opportunity to have a dark, moody gallery wall. And now that we have our own house, we do have that opportunity, but trying to find the time and the spare funds to decorate when we've had to do other things like building work on this house has been a little bit difficult. But hopefully one day we'll have a nice gallery wall, and this will hopefully go on it. And these guys have only been going for a few years, but I would absolutely love, 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 love to have one of their big arches. I'll put some photos on the screen because I think they're gorgeous. So like a black one on a white wall, or the gold one on a black wall. Beautiful. But they have so many gorgeous pieces if you're into that sort of thing. Black waffle paper, totally on brand. Oh, it's a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be, and heavier. Oh, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's because I didn't look at the measurements whatsoever, like at all, which is a me problem. But I thought it was going to be smaller, so I'm really excited it's a little bit bigger. I would have had no problem if it was small, but if you have a brain, you look at the measurements prior. But I'm really excited. Wow, that is so cool. And it's come with a chain. Didn't realise it come with a chain, so again, definitely didn't read the listing, did I? I'm probably not showing this off well at all, but oh my god, it's gorgeous, and it's like painted with a slight distressing. I love it so much. I'm just gonna hold the tissue paper behind it just so you can see it a little bit better, but oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. This is so cool. I love it, and it's like the perfect size as well. Oh, I need to go and paint the rest of the walls in the house black and start hanging cool stuff up because oh, it's so pretty. I just wanted to show you that. So if you're into like alternative gothic dark decor, I really would recommend checking them out. They have so many incredible pieces. Oh, that's amazing. I love it so much. I'm glad I treated myself. I had really bad buyer's remorse. I do all the time. I feel like I've already spoken about this in the vlog, but anytime I spend money that's not on either surviving or on the business, the guilt, the instant guilt, it's like the barcode scanner. I didn't need it necessarily, but it technically was for the business, but I still felt guilty as hell when I bought that. But anytime I buy anything currently that's not for the business or for like the cats or for surviving, so like the house and the bills and stuff, I feel so guilty. And I think it is because times are so hard right now, and I always think, oh, I should have put that into paying paying off some of the debt for the work that we've had done on the house, or future projects that we're already paying off, the mortgage, bills and stuff. I have really bad buyer's regret currently, and I don't think I deserve treats. So I felt so guilty when I bought this. Same with when I bought those few goodies the other day from the other small business, and the only thing that I was telling myself that made me feel better was that I was supporting another small business, which is great and it is true. But no, I am so glad that I did that. I'm pushing those guilty thoughts to the side because that is beautiful. So it might not be your cup of tea, guys, but it's definitely mine. But wanted to show you that. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, I will leave all of that information down below. But I think I'm going to leave this video here, guys, because I know it's not been a good vlog. I know I haven't really done much. It's been a lot of boring computer work and just me organising my life, trying to get on top of my studio, trying to get on top of, well, anything really. So I'm not sure how long it's going to be or anything. Honestly, I have no idea. So apologies if it wasn't that great, but hopefully you did still enjoy having a nosy into my small business life and other things. And then it also showed you that I do spend the majority of my time on my laptop. I think I am going to leave this here because I'm going to crack on with the next vlog straight away, because I've got a lot of market prep to do. Not a huge amount because it's just the last one of the year. I don't know how good it's going to go. It's only a little local farmers market, but we've not been in a while, so it'd be nice to see some regular customers, hopefully, if they're about. But there is still a few things that I need to do prior. Sorry, I keep getting this random pain in my ear. I was doing macrame then and it just kept twinging randomly, and I'm like, oh, sorry guys, I just twinged a bit then because it happened again, but that's weird. On that fun note, I'm going to leave this great video here. If you did make it all the way to the end, I'm going to ask you to leave some emojis again, because I've been doing that recently and it's so fun to see. I asked for a frog emoji on my really long vlog recently and it was great. There was just so many frogs being left. So what shall we leave today? Is there an ear emoji? Is that really weird? There's gotta be an ear emoji, surely. There is an ear emoji. If you watch this whole video and you can do the ear emoji, please leave it down below in the comments. I bet people will look at that and be like, what the hell is that about? Or chances are I will completely forget, and when the video goes live and I start seeing ear emojis, I'm like, what is going on? But thank you so much for watching if you did all the way through. If you could give it a massive thumbs up, leave those funny comments down below, and subscribe if you aren't. I am getting quite close to 5k now, which is really exciting. So we might hit it before the new year. I don't know, but it would be really exciting if we could. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. But apart from that, I will catch you guys in my next one, and hopefully it will be a fun vlog where I actually make stuff and do stuff. But I'll catch you then. Bye!